another edition of a Simpleton Review. Yes, that's right. I say the exact same thing every time because I am not creative. Okay, so anyways, my name is Nate Wade, Simpleton number 1,
and I'm Charlie Gibson, Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lemuel Edwards, Simpleton number 3, and I guess I'm not creative either because I say the same thing also.
That's true, he does. But you know what? He also looks like a lazy bum sitting in that poof pillow like he's doing right now.
I don't know what else to do. I don't have a desk.
Look at me, look at me. I got my big belly. Look at me. What happened to the 126-pound kid that left my house?
Well, college was fine because I had to walk everywhere. But then I got a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got a car. I don't have to walk as much.
And what do you have for dinner? Kraft macaroni and cheese?
Ramen. I don't like Kraft macaroni and cheese. If we do macaroni and cheese, it's Velveeta. We do the good stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you're a macaroni and cheese snob.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kimchi
Kraft
ramen.
Gross.
My goodness.
There's this hot Cheeto mac and cheese. It looks like it's poisoning your body, dude. It is the grossest color.
Cheeto.
I can't imagine putting that in your body.
Cheetos, Kraft macaroni.
Hot and spicy Cheeto.
You know you're going to get you a box after this.
No,
Yeah.
that's disgusting, dude.
No, I'm talking to your dad. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going straight to the store as soon as I sign off. That's the way it's going to be. I'm telling you. That's exactly what's going to happen. Hey, we're not interviewing anybody, quite honestly, but we are reviewing Fiona Apple's newest album called Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Fetch the Bolt Cutters is her 5th studio album. Woman's been around for over 20 years at this point, and she only 5 albums. She only has 5 albums. She basically goes about an album every 4 years is what she averages on her deal. It's she's amazing though. I mean, it takes her forever to put out an album. Like the album right before this, it was like 8 years between albums that she had went before she'd put out another album. So, Fetch the Bolt Cutter by Fiona Apple. It was released on April 17th, 2020. It was recorded between 2015 and 2020, mostly in Fiona's house, I guess. And it's pretty good. I like it a lot. It's a fascinating album. There's a lot of a different drum beat, syncopation, and stuff that goes on some of her albums. So what do you guys think? Did you guys like Fiona Apple? First of all, let me ask you this question, Mr. Z person, Mr. Nexter.
Zillennial.
Yes. Have you ever heard of Fiona Apple before?
I must have, because one of her songs were already on my playlist. I don't remember which song though, but you've probably talked about her before, knowing you.
Probably. So, right on. Okay, so then tell me, what do you guys think of Fiona Apple's new album?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I love music by piano players because you can tell they're percussive thinkers. Mm-hmm. Everything is set to rhythms and multi-rhythms and everything. Mm-hmm. You could tell the parts where she was trying to get across, like girls out in the playground doing the slap hand things. Mm-hmm. You could totally get that vibe. You could tell when she was sitting in church. You could tell. I mean, you got an essence of kind of like how her life moved.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Lemmy, what about you?
I liked it a lot. I liked the jazz a lot. It was nice. The lyrics were pretty angsty, I'm gonna say.
Typical for Fiona Apple.
Especially if you're a woman. I mean, boy, I'll tell you what.
To be honest.
Yeah. There was a lot of #MeToo stuff going on in that thing. Yeah. So, anything else you want to add to that, Lem?
I wrote down that I liked Newspaper. I think I liked the beat. I remember the drums being really rad.
Right.
I didn't write this down, but both times I listened to the album, the first track, I had a hard time with the way she ended it with her voice. That was a little rough for me. I was like,
why?
It just felt wrong. I don't know. I think the intention was to be dissident and end it on a dissident note, but yeah. I was not ready for that at the beginning of the album.
Yeah.
Okay. I picked up on that too. It's like every time she had the ending of the, she'd drag it till it was irritating and off key or it was out of tune, and like every time.
Yeah.
every time she hit the end of the chorus is just, and I think it was just to show how long and tedious things can get.
So which one you're talking about exactly on this one again?
The opening track.
Oh, the opening track. Yeah. So it is intentional. You think it was intentional then? I mean, this was definitely, yeah.
I totally thought it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, she's talking about, well, the title of the song is I Want You to Love Me, and that's like, her whole thing is like, really, I don't need you that bad.
Yeah.
I want you around, but I don't need you that bad.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, there were some interesting songs on there. I really liked. Well, the Shamika song was interesting. I mean, I think we've all known girls like Shamika somewhere along the way, have we not? Yeah. I mean, I just feel like I know a Shamika. I think everybody knows a Shamika.
Which one was the Shamika song?
It was called.
Oh, the Shamika says she's proud of you or whatever.
Well,
she says you got potential.
Yeah, she says you got potential. Yeah, and it's this, okay. And it's a dig, you know. Shamika doesn't mean it's not a positive like, hey, good job, you got potential. It's like, you got potential, but you know, whatever. I mean, it's that kind of like that, just that little dig. Shamika's that person that just digs at you, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was
she's the bully that just wants to tear you apart.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Fetch the Bolt Cutters, just
that was
fascinating.
My favorite song.
Fascinating percussion on there, wasn't it? That percussion on there was a pretty freaking amazing stuff, I thought. Under the Table, of course, that one was big time girl power on that song, wasn't it? Big time girl power. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do.
No. Yeah. No. But, you know, I felt that way too. I mean, it's obviously written from a woman's perspective, but I have felt that same way as well when I was listening to that.
I think we all have felt that same way.
But like I said, I think percussion was like the main driving thing, even though Fiona is really known for her piano skills. She came out with, her first few songs that made her popular, like Shadowboxing and things like that, were just really heavy piano-driven songs. But this album, I think, really focused more on percussion and different types of percussion. There was percussion there that was like... she was using like her tables. She was using stuff around her house to make sounds. Keys, like she was using house keys. Did you hear the keys in there sometimes?
I did not.
I was trying to figure out what that scratching noise was. It sounded like somebody was taking a bow to a cymbal, but it wasn't that. It was something else. I was making like this scratching, like a long scratch on, especially on the Shamika song, because I was like, I love this music. Like, I'd love to hear it without her voice. And then I went to a place that did it for a karaoke, and it was missing some of the sounds. And it was like, those things were like made every song. Just added that nice flair that was so gripped me. I mean, I just grabbed a hold of me.
Well, and I think, I mean, it obviously wasn't totally recorded under the pandemic, although it's a perfect pandemic album, because when you listen to the songs, you feel like she's just sitting in her house recording these songs, which she was. I mean, as you can tell, she recorded them all in her house in Venice Beach, California. But you can hear it. You can hear the acoustics in her room. It's not a sound studio, right? I mean, you can hear the
probably
acoustics.
Rugs on a hardwood floor,
right? You can hear her dogs. You can hear, and maybe that scratching was a dog. I don't know, but. It's just, I don't know, the percussiveness of this album was absolutely fascinating to me. I really enjoyed it. So, well, I'll tell you what. I would highly recommend it. I don't really know what else to say about the album. The album debuted at number 4.
Listen to it.
Yeah, the album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard charts. It is number 1 it was number 1 on the top alternative albums. She's not going to have another new album out for at least 5 years. So, so we can call this her new album for a very long time, because that's the way it is. And if you've never heard Fiona Apple before, what are you waiting for? She is absolutely amazing, and she needs to be up there in the upper echelon of, first of all, female artists like Tori Amos and Alanis Morissette and people like that. But beyond that, she is just absolutely brilliant, and she should be up there in top American musicians of at least the past 20 years, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but.
Oh yeah, I think she's up there. Man, just as a songwriter and like being so expressive. because she's it's a different platform for a lot of people because they don't necessarily express themselves like she does. She is very forward with everything, like the whole heart on the sleeve kind of deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No holds barred. I mean, right? And she's done that since the beginning of her career. I mean, if you've listened to the lyrics of Shadowboxing, yeah, it's you don't want to mess with her. So anyway, yeah.
I'm a Gen Zer, but I feel like that's a pretty Gen X thing too. No holds barred.
Oh.
Like, this is how I feel. Everything sucks.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
I'm just saying. The thing is, there's this thing about Gen Xers. We're full of angst and everything sucks, but at the same time, we're just like, yo, dude, I'm the dude and I abide, right? The dude abides.
The dude abides.
That's Gen X. Like, we're both things together at the same time, right? And so that's why it always tends to be the millennials and the boomers, and they're constantly going like this, right? and then the Gen Xers are we just sit here and eat our popcorn and right. That's all we do. We just it's like a tennis match to us. We just watch the millennials and the baby boomers fight about things, and we just sit back and go, whatever. Have you heard the new Pearl Jam album? Yeah, I mean that's all we do, right? I mean that's it, because we're Gen Xers. That's what we do. It's like whatever. It's not worth it. It's not worth a fight. I don't know. Am I wrong, Charlie? Isn't that kind of how Gen Xers kind of feel? It's like whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, millennials they get all wrapped. I mean, look, I get wrapped up in things because of stupid Facebook.
Facebook is a plague.
Devil.
Facebook's actually the plague.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go ahead and give our scores. I'm going to start this time. I am going to give Fiona Apple's album, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, I'm going to give it a 5. I think it deserves a 5. I'm going to give it a 5. It is absolutely brilliant. I mean, everything about it just screams classic. I think in 20 years, we'll still be talking about this album. In fact, I think in 20 years, it's going to be more well-known and more talked about than it is right now. That's my bottom line.
Fair enough. I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
I think it's good. I don't think it's quite that good, but I did like the that there was a lot of variety. I like that there was a lot of homespun feel about it, and I like that she still has her aggressive nature kind of popping out in the songs. So.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Slappy Pool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also give it a 4 because the same things Charlie said. There are I have my slight complaints, but I like to complain a lot, so I guess take it with a grain of salt. But it's very worth listening to, like very much.
Yeah,
a couple times probably.
Oh yeah, because I don't think you can hear all the sounds.
No,
like every time you listen to it, you hear something else. You're like, oh wow, I didn't catch that before. I mean, that beat, wow, that's good. I mean, because it's so percussive and there's so many different sounds in it. You just like, oh wow, I didn't catch that. So I think it's well worth a listen, and multiple times. It's an album worth buying, not just streaming. So if you guys have the money, go purchase Fiona Apple's new album, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, and support her. Yeah. All right, let's move on to pop culture news. This is the segment where we bring you news that's relevant for now and probably won't be relevant in 5 years when you watch the video, but that's
true.
Okay. So, Mr. Charlie, Mr. Simpleton number 2, what do you got for us today?
So I was looking at items that interest me, and there's a couple of pop-ups on Kickstarter. I spend a little bit of time on Kickstarter because I got a few things that I do support, like different like bands and things that are putting things out. But there's a new couple of telescopes that are out on the market. One is the Dwarf telescope, and this is just not, it's for the around town kind of thing. Being an art guy, I like to be able to like stay in one place and be able to view things from a distance. So if I'm on vacation and I'm hanging out with my wife, I can kind of like take a look at things from a distance. This one's nice because it syncs with your phone. You can either do, I think it's a hardwire or a Wi-Fi adapter, and so that way you can kind of like view everything through your phone. The joy on the no, I wanted to go to the next one. The second telescope. Now these guys, the Dwarfs, they run about $110, so they're not extremely high priced.
Sure, for a telescope.
Yeah, for a telescope.
Yeah, and this comes with like the telescope itself, the tripod, sync cables, and all that. So I mean, it's the full kit. It's not just like I'm getting a box. What am I going to do with this box? I can plug it in. The next one is quite the upgrade. Now this one's going to probably run you more about $500, but it's also a small telescope, and it's meant to like view more of the stars. Does a lot more a lot of lunar looks and everything. You can see it in the promo online, but again, it's meant to sync with your tablets and everything, with mapping and stuff, so that way you can actually observe. I mean, this is for the amateur what's the word I'm looking for?
Astronomer?
Astronomers. Thank you. My brain just froze. But yeah, so I mean, you can like actually take your tablet and line it up with the maps, and like zoom back and forth and see it digitally. So I thought that was kind of cool little gadget. So
yeah, that's pretty awesome. So you can literally set your telescope outside if you want and control it with your phone, is what you're telling me.
yeah, pretty much.
So you don't need. So say it's 20 below zero outside, and you want to set your telescope. You don't have to stand there.
Okay, a little bit to the left.
Yeah, right. You can just sit in your house and go burr, burr, burr. Oh, look at this! Ding, ding, ding. Okay, awesome. That's cool.
So now the upgraded one was from a company called Hyuni, or Hyuni, Hiuni, and so check them out on Kickstarter. See what they're doing.
Sounds good.
There's like days left on the dwarf, and the Hyuni is still a pre-purchase. So
okay, awesome. Well, and we'll have a link to that in the show notes. So please make sure you check out the show notes for that kind of information. Mr. Number 2, what about you?
Number 2.
Oh, that's what I meant. See, I always get these numbers mixed up.
I used to go back to kindergarten. I had to count to 5. Mr. Number 3, what do you got for us today?
Okay, so this one was a little rushed because I also wanted to do one of the stories we had for earlier this month or later.
Let me just add something to that. All right.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But I guess I don't know if you've heard of the Oculus Quest VR,
Sure, certainly.
but
yeah.
Facebook has been releasing these VR headsets that don't require a PC to use. You can just turn them on and play whatever games. They're releasing a second one, which requires you to have a Facebook account in order to use it. However, they're starting to ban users who are adding more than one Oculus Quest to their Facebook account.
Why?
No idea. I'm assuming that they're trying to prevent some sort of fraud or something. But it kind of sucks for people who like have a family and buy more than one for their family and just connect it to their one Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Interesting.
yeah, like
Well-
I want my kid having their own account.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I wonder what the reasoning is for that. Maybe you could do some research and we could talk about it later, or you could post it on the website and let people know if there's a reason why Facebook is doing that. That'd be great information to know.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
thank you, Mr. Number 3, for bringing that interesting piece of knowledge to us here. Let me just wee. Okay, sorry. So if you guys notice my background here, I'm sure y'all know who these characters are, right? Right? We
Nope,
got
never seen them.
Snoopy and Charlie.
Mr.
Never heard of them.
Charlie, and we got Mr. Snoopy right here. Two of my favorite characters of all times. Always been a Peanuts fan ever since I was a little kid. Just love him. I know there's some people that don't like Charlie Brown. In fact, a mutual friend of ours from college, Charlie, Garrett, hated Charlie Brown. He absolutely
What a killjoy.
despised Charlie Brown. He hated him. Just didn't like the wishy-washy nature of Charlie Brown. I like him. Probably because I can relate to him. I gotta rock. I mean, come on, that's my life right there in a nutshell. So I relate to him. But anyway, the sad news is that Charlie Brown is not going to be all the seasonal TV shows that everybody likes to watch. They're not going to be on TV this year. Which there's a lot of people that are sad about that. So the first time since the 1960s, you're not going to be able to watch the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, or the Thanksgiving special or Christmas special because a little company called Apple bought the rights to distribute Charlie Brown. And so the only way you can watch Charlie Brown this year is if you have access to Apple TV. Now, Apple TV is throwing everybody out a bone. So if you don't have a subscription to Apple TV, you can still watch the Charlie Brown specials, but only for a limited time in a very small window. So if you want to watch It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which already passed by the time you watch this video, they were only going to air that between October 30th and November 1st. So the Thanksgiving episode, which will be the week that this episode, or this podcast or video or whatever you want to call it, is dropping, they're going to be showing the Thanksgiving episode of Charlie Brown between November 25th and November 27th. And then Charlie Brown Christmas will be on between December 11th and December 13th. And that's it. If you don't have Apple TV, those are the only times you can watch it. Now, I don't exactly know how Apple's doing it. I don't know if you've got to create an account. Probably have to create an entire
probably have to.
iTunes account or something like that. But as far as I understand, it's free of charge to watch those shows during those certain dates. And then after that, screw you unless you're an Apple person.
As sad as that is pretty good marketing. I think you have to kind of admit.
Well, it may be good marketing, but here's the thing. Some of us absolutely hate Apple, and we're not going to get sucked into their stupid marketing. Okay? I'm just
Oh, yeah?
But
Some of us?
Yeah.
Who's some of us, huh?
Well, I know Charlie has an iPhone, but I don't know. I don't think he's drank the Kool-Aid, quite honestly. But here's the thing. This is just one small symptom of a greater problem that we're going to be continually experiencing as the days go by. And you're starting to see it now with all of these different cable
Apple, Disney,
TVs. Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, and CBS and NBC, Universal, they're all starting their own streaming services. And so if you don't have a subscription to those platforms, you don't get to watch certain stuff. The days are gone of being able to watch all of these shows on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. You will not be able to do it anymore because those contracts are running out and those companies are taking back the rights because they figure it's more lucrative for them to be able to do this. So in some point in the not too distant future, you're going to have a subscription to all of these different streaming services to be able to watch the entertainment that you want to watch. And it could be as much, if not more, than what cable costs right now to be able to watch all that stuff.
I feel like that's going to bring a lot of people back to doing piracy almost. Like, I feel like a lot of piracy was because it was hard to get a hold of those things for cheap anyways. Sure. And then Netflix came out and people were like, okay, cool. Like, this is a manageable price. I can handle this. Yeah. And now that it's back to this cable-esque, like, package deal, like, I feel like you're just going to see a lot of people going back to torrenting and stuff.
Well, the only thing that's going to save it really is that, you can still buy pieces of the pie. So if you don't want that, you don't have to have it. That's the problem with cable, right? You take it all or nothing. It's not a la carte. But this is going to be, but at the same point, there's going to come a point where it'll probably be cheaper for you to spend $120 on cable a month than it will to have all the streaming services you want to have. Like, there's some I don't care. Like, honestly, Apple TV has nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? But CBS All Access, I can't. I'm gonna die.
Oh no! Not on the podcast.
Sorry, guys. CBS All Access, they have Star Trek, but I don't want to spend the money. That's the only show I'm interested in on CBS. I could give a flying leap about Survivor or all these other stupid shows, CSI and all these other dumb shows on CBS. But Star Trek? I love Star Trek! So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the future holds. I don't know. That's my take. Guys have any final thoughts on that?
No.
No?
Yeah,
You're just like,
it's
we
in
got
the
to
same boat.
Yeah, we got to get off the video before Nate dies. That's what they're all thinking right now. Well, the thing is, luckily we've hit the end. Go check out Fiona Apple's album. It is fantastic. It is amazing. You can find it on any streaming platform, or you can purchase it on iTunes, Amazon, any of those places like that. And make sure you subscribe to our website. First of all, that's simpletonreview.com. You can subscribe, get an email. You can, every time we purchase or post new stuff, you get an email. Find us on Facebook. Subscribe to this video. We want subscribers. Even if you hate us, subscribe anyways, okay? It's no skin off your back. You never have to watch these videos. In fact, I'm pretty certain Lemuel and Charlie don't even watch these videos. I'm just saying, okay? So,
I don't like the sound
anyway.
of my own voice.
Whatever. All right. So, anyways, that's all I got to say. Hey, I want to tell everybody, my son Lemuel, okay, Mr. Deadpool Slaps or whatever he calls himself, is available on Twitch. He goes and he games, okay? So if you're a gamer, you like to watch people video game, then go watch Deadpool Slaps. Or you can check out my other child. You can find him. What is he calling himself these days?
Last I checked, it's The Braden Show. But
The Braden
I think
Show.
He's changing his
That's right.
name again soon. So
Yeah, if it's not the Braden Show, it'll be something with sad in the title. I'm pretty certain.
yeah,
So.
likely. I don't know. He's trying to change his brand to be a little more positive, I feel like.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be a
what
good
it
thing.
seems like.
So
That'd
you
be
might
good.
want to spell Braden in case people are having to type it in.
That's true.
Well, we'll leave the all those links in the show notes so everybody can just click on it and go to Twitch and watch your favorite streamer, which happens to be my son's, right? Those are your favorite streamers.
Yep.
All right. Hey, this is Nate. I'm Simpleton number 1.
I'm Charlie Gibson, Simpleton number 2.
I'm Lemuel Edwards, Simpleton number 3.
And we're all three wishing you a happy November, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.